If you're like me, you would love cheat codes that help you to just get better results at doing things. They usually say life comes without a manual, but I tell you, with this cheat code that I'm about to share with you in this video, using my own life as a case study, I'm definitely sure that you would get it and you will be able to run with it. Like, get on it real quick. All right. So let's get into it. Today, I'll just be sharing with you on what's transformed my life, like literally a 360 degree, and that is what I would call intentional living. Intentional living is simply taking consistent and deliberate steps in achieving a particular goal. That's intentional living. That is, you have your goals, you have your core values, you have things that you would like to achieve. And it all stems from a place of personal discovery when you get to know who you are and who you have been called to serve. These two major things would help you to define your why, for you to know how to go about living this life, a life of intention. And simply put, I can also call it a purposeful life. Many times we have been made to think that purpose is something complex, it's something that you have to attain, it's something that you have to do some work, it's something that is later in the future. No, it's in the consistent steps, it's in the deliberate actions that you take. All right, so quick one before we proceed. I will just welcome you back to my channel. And if it's your first time here, please ensure to engage and subscribe to this channel. It gets better here. Sure, I can assure you of that. You keep learning, you get value for life, for your relationship, all from a faith-based angle. All right, so three major things that I would share with you that I will call the three cores of you living intentionally. Number one is clarity. What do you want to live intentionally about? Clarity about who you really are. Clarity about who you have been called to serve. I mentioned that earlier. Clarity would help you to define what your goals are and what your core values are and how you can set out to achieve them. Clarity, very important. Number two thing is alignment. You see, it's one thing to be clear about what you desire. Let's say, for example, you want to build a kind of family that is unique, a kind of family that is not subject to societal norms, but something really different. You want to build a business, you want to build a career, you intend to travel the world, you intend to achieve certain things for yourself at a particular time, within a particular time frame. Now, it comes from you getting it clearly, defining your core values, and then aligning your life accordingly. Yes, that's where the work now begins in intentional living. You begin to align your life accordingly. I've shared this a number of times on my socials, and I shared this experience I had on a youth service camp. That's the compulsory NYSC that's every young Nigerian graduate go to for a period of 1 year. So I was on the camp for a period of 2 weeks, and one of the things I love to do is reading. So of course the bookstore was my go-to. So on this day, I was at the bookstore and I saw a book on raising positive kids in a negative world by Zig Ziglar. So on seeing this book, because I already had the clarity of what I wanted to raise children that had a different perspective about life, children grounded in faith, children well raised all round. So I knew I needed to get a lot of information about being a great role model to my children, how to spend quality time with them, how to raise them and kind of build the life that I really want to see. Because it has a lot to do with posterity. When you cease to see a life of purpose and intentional living beyond yourself, and you see it being transgenerational, it's going to redefine a lot of things for you. So on seeing this book, of course I went ahead and I picked it because I knew it was going to align me to what I was already clear about, my clear goals. So as soon as I picked the book, the lady saw it, and then that action that I took by picking up the book and about to make payment for it made her started asking me questions like, oh, do you have kids? I said, no. Are you married? I said, no. And then she goes, then why are you reading this kind of book about raising kids? You see, you don't have to wait for when you are in what you call the future before you start preparing, before you start aligning yourself. When it comes to intentional living, when you choose to live intentionally, you can no longer say things like, oh, when we get to that bridge, we're going to cross it. No, you prepare ahead, you align yourself, you ensure that you are properly placed on that line that you have decided to walk in. So this is a major factor. Alignment is a major core of intentional living. There is no way you're going to put it aside. No, you can't just have clarity about what you want to achieve, about who you are, about who you serve, and then not know how to align yourself accordingly. There are a lot of noise around in the world that we live in. Of course, everywhere is noisy, but you have to decide and define what you want. Remember, I'm giving you the cheat code right there in this video. And then the number 3 thing, I mentioned clarity, mentioned alignment, and the third one is action. What are the actions that you now have to take to live intentionally? Now, this is where the daily steps that you take comes in. This is where you begin to make decisions according to what you want to achieve, according to the type of life you want to build. You begin to take actions. It shows in your decisions. It shows in your relationships. It shows in your conversations. It shows in how you show up every day. It shows in your decisions. It shows in the kind of relationships you build. It shows in the conversations you have. And it shows in how you show up every single day. Remember, it can cut across any area of life. Intentionality cuts across every area of your life. Shows in your business, shows in the career you're trying to build, shows in the kind of quality relationships that you intend to build, shows in the kind of marriage you want, the kind of family, and all around. So it's not just streamlined to an area. You have to be intentional and to ensure that you have clarity, alignment, and then begin to take actions in all of these respective fields. So if this cheat code helped you in a way and gave you some level of clarity on how to live intentionally, let me know about it in the comment section. Share your experiences, share on one thing that you placed your mind to do intentionally and you achieved it. Let us learn from you as well. And also drop your questions in the comments. It will help me know where else you would like me to address. Till I see you next time, remember to like, subscribe, and also share to encourage someone on this journey of intentionality. See you soon.